Okay.
So about 11, 12 months ago, I started seeing media reports. So about 11, 12 months ago, I started seeing media reports of the satellite images of the concentration camps in Xinjiang in Western China. And when I saw those, I had to get up and act. I couldn't stay at home because my family were in concentration camps 80 years ago. And we said never again. And until now, nothing on this scale has ever happened again. There's been atrocity after atrocity, but on a much smaller scale, and there still are all over the world today. But with 3 million people, 3 million women, men and children, with their lives in peril in concentration camps in Western China, the world's got to do something. And the world's not doing anything at the moment. The world is silent. China has immense power. China is the future. China can be a great country. It will be a great country, but it could be an evil country or it can be a good country. And at the moment, what it's doing in Xinjiang in Western China is evil. And we've got to get these women, these men and these children out of these concentration camps because their lives are in danger. History has shown that if the world is silent, then these concentration camps will one day soon, God forbid, turn into extermination camps. China will get bored with housing these people and it will just kill them because nobody's looking at, nobody's talking. But if there are enough people in the street, enough of you, enough common people, raise the issue, tell your friends, tell your family, and get them to tell their friends and their family, and it becomes an issue and it becomes unacceptable, the Chinese are really interface and they don't want to be the pariahs of the world, and they will stop. And these women and these children and these men...
It's all right, just continue. Right, just continue.
And these men will be freed and their lives will be saved. So I beg you, tell your families, tell your friends, get them talking about the 3 million women, men and children in concentration camps in Western China, in Xinjiang, and get them to tell their family and their friends. And when you do that, these women and children and men will be freed. So please do.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you very much. So, if you stick around maybe for a sec, brothers and sisters and humanity, you clearly can see that Andrew is very worked up by it yourself because you had family members. You had family members 80 years ago that have been in concentration camps. Were killed, right?
Yeah.
And it's astonishing that we have seen the same developments again taking place. And I would really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that regardless of your creed, regardless of your ethnicity, that you come out here and you spread this message, and you've been very consistent with it as well, right? And I think that's really the future, that communities have to come together and start doing it. What would you recommend from now on? I mean, if anyone watches this, what would be the practical steps to get engaged in this activism?
I'm not an activist, strangely enough. Well, I wasn't until I started doing this, and it doesn't come naturally to me.
Okay.
I cannot fight China. The great power of China has all the money and all the power, and China has used that power to buy off the neighbouring countries. And the governments of the countries neighbouring, who should be speaking, who should be putting a stop to this and saying to China no more. And if they did, China would stop. They've been bought out with money and with power. All we can do
is apply pressure.
Is raise this in the media, spread it across social media. 3 million in concentration camps is as big as climate. It's as big or bigger than climate change.
Yeah, I agree.
When it gets spoken about at that level, then China will stop, and these women and men and children will be freed. So that's all we can do. And the rest is I'm a religious man, you can tell. I do my bit and I leave the rest up to God.
I agree. Thank you.
That's actually a very powerful thing what he said. said, because we are told the same about, sorry, Darwin,
Exactly.
that we believe we're Muslims as well, yeah?
Yeah.
And we believe in one God, and we are told to tie our camel and put our trust in God, which means that if you're in a car, you wear your seatbelt and then put your trust in God.
Yeah.
You know, so, and you're doing your part, and it's actually, you know what, it's absolutely amazing, because, you know, Dawood himself has been actively on this as well, and it just makes us really happy that someone from your community that actually